Now will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, I'm Scott Morris with the Morning News. Any freshman who is interested in running for class officer positions, please stop by Coach Velasco's room to sign up. Any girl in grades 7th and 8th interested in playing basketball this year, you can sign up today. 7th grade sign-ups are in Gossett's room and 8th grade in Mr. Barsh's room. Remember that the Navy recruiter will be here on September 14th in the cafeteria for anyone interested in meeting them. Please see Mr. Richards with any questions. Action Images will be here on Tuesday to take school pictures.
I'm here with Mrs. Jody to ask her a couple questions about 9/11. How old were you when it happened?
I was 29 years old.
Okay, where were you when this event occurred?
I was actually at a pediatrician office in St. Clairsville with my oldest daughter at a doctor's appointment, and we were watching the television in the waiting room, and everything happened right there in the waiting room. I witnessed all of the TV footage.
What was your first thoughts when you saw it?
My first thoughts, I was very just scared and alarmed and just worried about, what was going to happen, if something was going to happen, in our area, or just sad about the catastrophe and people losing their lives.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm here with Miss Bethel to ask her questions about her experience with 9/11. Miss Bethel, how old were you when 9/11 occurred?
It was in 5th grade or 6th, and it was 20 years ago, so I would have been 9.
And where were you at the moment when you found out about the event?
So I went to the Hopedale School, and so I was in the classroom, and it was happening. First it hit, and we were like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. The first one, they thought it was an accident. But then after the second one hit, everything kind of got crazy. People started getting picked up from school. It was pretty nuts.
Mm-hmm. And what were your initial thoughts?
Well, at first, no one really told me because I was 9. They're not going to tell a little kid what's going on. But then after everything happened, they ended up turning on the little televisions in the corner of the room, and we were just watching the news, and it was kind of scary because people started getting picked up, and because people were scared, and it was pretty nuts. But then afterwards, I actually grabbed this because I always have it. We made this like the next day. It's like a little flag. And it was like a remembrance thing, and I've kept it ever since, and I keep it in my room. I don't know, it's super weird, but it's something that I always keep with me, which is kind of cool because we made it because of what happened, just to make people feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, well, thank you, Miss Bethel.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm here with Mr. Livco to ask him a few questions about 9/11. How old were you when you found out about 9/11?
When 9/11 occurred, I was 39 years old.
Where were you when you heard the news of 9/11?
I was home. At that particular time in my life, I wasn't teaching, so I was at home, and I was getting ready to take my oldest son to school for kindergarten, and while I was waiting for him to finish getting ready, I had the TV on, and the news broke.
What were your first thoughts or feelings when you heard about 9/11?
I just couldn't believe it. I know when they first reported it, it just kind of sounded like maybe a pilot had lost control of his plane. But then when it became obvious what was going on, I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening in our country. And you just didn't know if it was going to continue happening the rest of the day. You were just kind of a little bit afraid, and it was an incredibly bad news to hear it.
Okay, thank you. I'm here with Coach Hayes to ask a couple questions about 9/11. Okay, how old were you when it happened?
I was 23.
Okay. Where were you when you figured out it happened?
I was working as juvenile for juvenile court, and we were just getting ready to go into court for the day.
Okay. What were your first thoughts when you found out it happened?
Well, I was shocked. I thought maybe it was an accident when it first happened, and then we delayed some of our court cases, and we watched the second plane actually crash into the towers.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with Miss Wood to ask her a couple questions about 9/11. How old were you when this event occurred?
I was 10, I think.
Okay. Where were you when it happened?
I was at home. My mom homeschooled me at the time, so I was actually at home, and we were doing our English curriculum at the time.
Okay, and what were your first initial thoughts when you heard about this?
We usually had the news on in the mornings, and we turned it off, and my dad was at work, and he called my mom, and he was like, hey, you need to turn the news on. Something happened in New York. And we turned it on just in time for the second plane to hit the second tower. So the first tower was already hit at that point. And my mom and it was just us and him. And of course, her initial reaction as a mom is the protection of her child. So she's like, we need to stay inside. Let's not go out anywhere today. Stay home. And as a kid, I think my initial reaction was, that's really scary, but it felt very removed because I'm a kid living in Richmond, Ohio. This is not something that I had a personal connection to at the time. And I was still kind of young to really understand what happened. So yeah, I think those were kind of my initial thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Avery with today's lunch and birthdays. For lunch, we are having macaroni and cheese and green beans. For today's birthdays, we do not have any. For sporting events, we have varsity boys soccer at home. And that is it. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.